Hi folks, welcome to this video. Very interesting data I will present to you today. This is about the underdog index that you may have all missed. I certainly missed it for a long time before I realized its importance. We've already seen the weightage problem in Nifty 50. So the premier index that we have is Nifty. And the issue with Nifty is that it is heavily skewed towards certain sectors and certain stocks. So if we see the top 10 stocks in Nifty, which are HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, Reliance, Infosys, Bharti, L&T, ITC, TCS, Axis Bank, Kotak Mahindra Banks, you can already see that how much banking is there in the top 10, and you can see the weights of it. 13% is HDFC, 9% nearly is ICICI, then you have 2.9% Axis, 2.75% Kotak. So a lot of weightage towards certain sectors and stocks. And the top 10 basically take up 50% of the weightage of Nifty. The next 40 stocks in the Nifty hardly get the entire rest of the 50%. So this creates a lot of issues for the Nifty 50 index as a whole. Whenever these top 10 stocks are underperforming for whatever reason, uh, the entire index basically has to take that weight of those top 10 stocks not performing. Of course, when they do perform, Nifty will do very well. But what we have seen is that because these are extremely well researched, well followed, over owned stocks usually, um, outperformance is rare, if not never. So the other sort of idea for Nifty is that what if we create a equal weighted Nifty? So that also solves the issue to some extent. And we see that when we compare equal weight, which is this orange line, versus regular weight, which is the white line, we find that equal weight also does a bit better. But in terms of drawdowns, it drops similarly. And over a very long period of time, let's say over 10 to 12 years, it performed slightly better at 364% versus Nifty of 321%. Now, Nifty has these issues. Now, what if we pick an index which consists of emerging stocks of the future? So these 50 stocks are like, old uh, companies, well entrenched into the investing ecosystem, and everybody knows pretty much everything about these companies. But there is the next 50 stocks, which is an emerging sort of index, which is a breeding ground for those companies that will breed into the index at some point. And those are the places where new energy and new sort of uh, you know uh, creation of new large cap companies is getting formed, which is basically the Nifty next 50 index. Now here in Nifty next 50 index, if we were to compare the top 10 weightages, the top 10 stocks in Nifty next 50, we find we have Interglobe Aviation, which is Indigo, HAL, Divi's, TVS, Vedanta, DMart, Britannia, Indian Hotels, Varun Beverages, and Tata Power. But just look at the weightages. Weightages are not like Nifty, 13%, 8%. Here, the top 10 stocks still constitute about 33% of total weight. So, compared to more than 50% in case of Nifty 50, this is still more reasonable, where top 10 is taking up 33%. What about past returns? Let's compare Nifty index to Nifty next 50 index. And you see that since the data is available since 1996, Nifty Next 50 index has been growing at 15.16%. Nifty Next 50 also is known as Nifty Junior, by the way. And Nifty has in the same time period has done 2462% at 11.8%. So just see the kind of exponential growth Nifty Junior has given, because these are companies which are emerging. They have come just from mid caps into Nifty Junior, and they are buzzing with growth in that particular segment. Also, when we compare from COVID bottom, for instance, again you are able to see that Nifty Next 50 has done quite well at 241% versus 213% of Nifty. And of course, the first thing that will come to our mind is that Nifty Junior must be more volatile and versus Nifty, and hence it has more returns. But when we look at the statistics over 5 years and since inception, which is almost 30 years, the beta of Nifty 50 is Nifty Junior versus Nifty 50 is 1 and 0.96. So in the longer term, in the very short term, yes, it is more volatile, but in the longer term, it has similar beta compared to Nifty 50. Now let's also compare Nifty Junior with Nifty equal weight. So remember the first part where we tried to have a better index than the normal Nifty with equal weighted index of Nifty. And when we compare regular Nifty Junior with that, we find that Nifty Junior has beaten that index also. So again, 1584% versus the Nifty equal weight at 13.82% over the last 11 odd years. And here also you are seeing Nifty Junior is performing brilliantly well versus Nifty. So what does all this imply? That emerging stocks, the next 50 has performed very well compared to old horses in Nifty 50, and that too for the past 30 years. And as Nifty next 50 also gets rebalanced every 6 months, the best performing stocks stay in the game, and your portfolio remains up to date. Also, what does this imply? When we look at the sector representation, we find that diversification among various sectors also gives Nifty Junior an advantage by giving better returns. So you can see here you have good allocation to healthcare, you have good allocation to capital goods, good allocation to power, which is not there in the Nifty sector representation. Now, what's there for the investors here? So, first of all, diversification is important across sectors. Uh, in any strategy, regular checks and rebalance help. So, here, because of the diversity across different sectors and different weights and almost equal weights for many of the stocks, this performs really good. And it also basically is a breeding ground, as I mentioned earlier, for new opportunity and fresh sectors, and that is where basically where massive growth can come from. And once it grows large enough, then it moves into Nifty, and by that time the growth probably has peaked, or it sort of becomes very well known in the research. So that's where we are for this index. What are your thoughts on this Nifty next 50 index? And you can also use products based on Nifty next 50 index for that extra premium, extra alpha on your returns. Let us know in the comments, and you can also watch this other video if you liked our content. And of course, if you like our content, you have to subscribe to our channel. And if you are not subscribing, do let us know why you're not subscribing. We'll try to fix that too. And do like and share these videos. Thank you. Bye bye.